What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife and co-host. The first time Big Perv opened his mouth this episode, she muttered, "Somebody needs to kill him off." It's the one and only, somewhat violent, Teresa.
Did I say that?
You literally said, "Somebody needs to kill him off." Like this is a TV series or something. I mean, it is a TV series.
Okay. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? I said someone needs to shut him down.
No, you literally, and I quote, said somebody needs to kill him off.
Okay.
We've been watching too much Yellowstone.
Too much Yellowstone. He annoys the shit out of me. We didn't even cover him. He is such an arrogant little prat. That it's, honestly, yes. We all love or hate Angela. Sure, she's nuts. She's abusive, whatever. I'll take Angela again. Sure. I cannot stand this human who calls himself Big Ed to be on TV again. He is such a
human
freaking...
is so generous of you.
He's such a freaking asshole. It's out of control. He's so full of himself. I can't take it.
Yeah.
Well, who does he think he is? It's out of control.
You're doing exactly what everyone else does when they get upset over Angela. He's been this way since episode 1. He's got a tattoo of himself. He sells his merch. He's been a creep since scene 1.
He was, but I think we all felt kind of bad for him. It's like,
sure.
This naive guy, he doesn't have the looks. He is a little short, right? And he thinks he's going to fly all the way to the Philippines and she's going to be into him. And we all kind of felt bad for him, right? For being naive. And then he came out of his shell when he started making those comments to, what's his name? Rose. And then we all were like, ew, wait. We don't feel bad for this guy. He's ridiculous. And then more started coming out. And then he was in the single life with Liz. And it's just... Yeah. He turned into this persona that I don't know if it's truly his personality or he grew into this because of the fame.
I think it's a little bit of both. Big Ed, big mouth. But what I've always said and what people say is fame or celebrity just magnifies your personality. So I don't think he was some sweet guy and then created this persona. I think he always had a little bit of this in him and then this just amplified it.
I think the fact that he was with Liz and with Rose boosted his ego because Liz, once upon a time, she was pretty, and I think she'll get there again if she drops this freaking piece of shit. Yeah. And Rose is beautiful. So they boosted his ego, and now he thinks like, oh, I can have anyone. Look at these young women. They just want me so bad, so I can be an asshole.
I think it's also a defense mechanism. Yes, I think he got a little cocky, got a little arrogant.
Very cocky.
But I think, he does have a condition, and I'm not trying to create excuses for him, but probably a lot of people picked on him, gave him shit, made fun of him, bullied him, and so he had to create this shell. He had to formulate a defense mechanism to fight against that, and I think this is what he created, and it's not excusing it. Tit for tat, eye for an eye, that doesn't work. But I think, yes, it's the women, but it's also, I'm sure he got bullied a lot. And so he had to create this persona.
Yeah. What bothers me about him the most is that he has this attitude like, oh, everyone is out to get him. But everyone is wrong and he's right. People gang up on him in, I'm going to say a nice way because we're going to open up with it when he's talking to Andre and Angela and Jovi and Bilal comes in. They all basically telling him like, hey, dude, like, that's not bueno, right? What you're doing. Even Angela's talking to him in a good way, which I was like, okay. He was basically telling people don't even talk to Angela, right? And then he pretty much goes and turns everything against Liz. Right. Instead of like taking any ownership of literally any BS, I don't get it. And not just at Liz. He goes crazy against everyone. It's like, don't you think it's like your fault too? Like, how about like you just say, okay, well, my fault and move on. And the worst thing about this is that he pisses people off. He acts like an asshole and comes in the next day, sits and he's friends with him. He's like, I'm like, dude, do you forget? Like, but I don't get it.
Yeah. All right. Well, settle down over there, Therese. I think you should
Ooh,
calm down, save your energy. We got a lot to talk about.
I'm glad we didn't cover him because I don't think we would. Oh my gosh, I would be
Yeah.
so outraged the whole freaking season.
Well, you settle down. Settle down. We will talk about Tell All No Limits Part 3 momentarily. Before we do, a little housekeeping. Make sure you guys are following us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod on Instagram. Last week we were discussing, we were having a lot of chuckles, some ha-has, and out of it came one of my favorite memes we've ever done.
Yeah.
We posted it. You guys seem to like it. So follow us at Married to Reality Pod for that meme and for all the other memes, for the news, the updates, and it's where we chat with you guys. It's our little version of WhatsApp.
Yes, absolutely. Talk to us, message us on Instagram, and hey guys, come over to the Patreon.
What a lead in. Thank you, Teresa. Such a professional. Patreon.com/Married to Reality. We are wrapping up Love in Paradise Season 2. What a season it's been. We have the grand finale, the supersized finale dropping tomorrow. Yeah, well, there's a lot going on. I'm trying to keep our days straight. Dropping tomorrow for the patrons, for the Cousins Club and the Family Affair level. Again, the only difference there, well, there's two differences. Family Affair gets video of our Patreon podcast, and they also get one monthly bonus.
Yes.
And so the Cousins Club, Family Affair, they get Love in Paradise right now, and then very soon, almost like in a week, I believe,
In a week, exactly.
the Silva sisters make their triumphant return to our silver screens, our small screens actually, and to our Patreon. So get on the Patreon now, then whenever you feel the time is right. We think it's a fantastic time right now. Patreon.com/Married to Reality.
Yes. Silva sisters. Ooh.
Love the old Bluetooth connecting from the speaker. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens
I
this
can't
season.
wait to see the sisters.
Yes, so check it out, patreon.com/Married to Reality. Also, just make sure you guys are following this podcast, the one you're listening to right now. That way, whatever we drop in the free feed, you'll get it immediately. It's so easy to follow the podcast. Just look down, smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hard as sassy Jenny shutting Big Pred down because that was amazing.
Ooh, I don't recall.
When Big Pred was unleashing on the Jenny saying, "Oh yeah, you had so much shit for me," and Jenny was like, she couldn't take it anymore. She stood up. She goes like, "This guy's a joke. Like, where did you find him?"
Oh, yeah,
and Big
yeah.
Pred is like, "India."
Oh, gosh.
And Jenny's like, "They wouldn't even give you a
you.
visa." And she left. And I'm like, that was amazing.
Sass. Okay.
Sassy.
Yeah, smash it like it's as hot as that. And last but not least, if you haven't left a review, please do. We love the reviews. And if you leave a 5-star review, we'll read it on this podcast, this very podcast, the 90-day podcast. And speaking of reviews, I got one that I would love to read. Short and sweet. Okay, you don't need to say a lot. 5 stars is more than enough for us. We thank you. And then if you write just a little bit, we'll read it. And that's what we have here. This comes to us from our friend Cindy I. Word Crazy. She doesn't go that crazy with the words, to be honest.
Oh, thank you, Cindy.
she keeps it
Let's
short and
see what
sweet.
you said.
5 stars, titled Love.
Love it.
Love the love. She writes, "Great job. Love the rapport." And that's it. And that's all we need. That's all we need to keep going. Cindy, thank you. Love the review.
Love the review. Short and sweet. Love it. Thank you so much.
All right. I think she kept it short because she wants us to get right into the by the ways.
okay.
Cindy, is that why you kept it short and sweet? Let's do it. Let's do a little 90-day by the way.
Do you have any?
I got 2.
Oh,
I got 2. Okay,
classic.
one story's floating around. The other, I think I did my work as a reporter, and I'm going to bring something that maybe not everyone is familiar with.
Let's hear it.
Let's start with that one. By the way, number 1. Biniam, Ari and Binny, not the only 90-day MMAer out there. We have another MMA fighter in the 90-day world,
Okay.
Patrick of Patrick and Miriam.
Oh, I thought he was a DJ.
He is a DJ.
Okay.
But he's got a side hustle or two. He's a DJ. He's an MMA fighter. And he just won. This is hot off the press, folks. He just won his first professional MMA fight on Saturday in California.
Nice.
Very nice. And so speaking of him being a DJ, check this out. He just posted this. According to his Instagram, he wrote, "I lost 20 pounds in 6 days for the weigh-in." You have to cut weight to fight in a
Post how?
Yeah, post that. Quit bragging. How'd you do it?
I mean, I could use a post holiday cleanup.
Yeah, I don't think it's very healthy. But he lost 20 pounds in 6 days, flew to Cali for the weigh-in from Vegas, then turned around after the weigh-in, flew back to Vegas to DJ until 4 a.m., then went to the airport, caught a 7 a.m. flight back to Cali for the fight, and he won in a third-round knockout.
Wow.
That's kids, don't try that at home, but that is impressive.
That's great. How do you have... So here's my thing. Okay, you lose 20 pounds in 6 days for a fight. How do you have any energy to fight?
So you cut all the weight, and I think a lot of it's water weight. And I don't know, don't put the disclaimer that I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think a lot of it's water weight, so you shed it, you cut it. And
How?
There's all sorts of tricks, and you sweat it out, and you run, and you fast. And again, I don't know, but so I've heard. Then, right after the weigh-in, they don't weigh you before the fight. There's a weigh-in that's, I don't know, 24 hours in advance, however far in advance. Right after that, right after you hit the number you're supposed to hit, you can just eat as much as you want.
Oh, really?
So then you can just binge, and then you get your strength, and then you fight. And if you're Patrick, you win. So congrats,
good for him.
Congrats to Patrick on that first professional win. All right. Number 2.
Yes.
Speaking of violence.
Ooh.
Speaking of violence. So a while back, I did a story on Michael Baltimore. And if the name doesn't ring a bell, it's because he played a very small part on 90 Day Fiancé. He was the barber who was featured on Jay and Ashley's season.
Oh, yeah.
So he was on the U.S. Marshals Most Wanted list because he got into an altercation with his boss and the other barber who was on the season with him.
And he killed him,
He
right?
shot and he killed.
Jesus.
Right. So then he went on the run. And he was on the Most Wanted list. And that was the story that I reported on several months ago.
So the 2 barbers that were on the show, one of them is dead and the other one is on the run?
Correct. On the run until this weekend.
Oh.
He was arrested in Florida. Classic 90 Day spot. He was arrested in Florida. So here's how dumb some people are. He got into a bar fight. And then when police tracked him down for the bar fight, they were like, oh, drugs, guns, let's look more into this guy. Found out he was a fugitive who they've been looking for. And they got him. And it's like, if you got away with murder, literally, go do what David does and become a monk or something because your luck has run out. Why are you getting into bar fights? Why are you even going to bars? Just be glad you got away with murder, literally.
Some people can't. We'll never learn.
So that's the story. He is now in custody. And one for the good guys.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's 90 Day, by the way. And with that, what do you say we do? It's Sunday night, 90 Day Fiancé, Season 7, Episode...
Well, tell all part 3.
No limits!
Yes, that too.
Okay. You walked around and started saying that.
Yeah, because I saw it on the screen.
I know.
No limits.
Yeah, there you go. Teresa's back, folks.
Teresa's back.
All right. Are you ready to get fired up?
Picked up where we left off, as we touched on
The rooftop bar.
Previously. Yes, the rooftop bar. Angela, Andre, and Jovi are basically ganging up on Big Pratt because he's a fucking douche.
Yes.
And I almost feel like, yes, Angela has her own issues, right? But she goes like, set Liz free. Like, if you love her, set her free. And this is why Big Pratt is such an idiot, because he's like, yeah, I love her, but I can't be with her, but I love her. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? You just want to be on TV, and now you were an asshole. We all witnessed it. So you're trying to play down. So, oh wait, it's Liz. Liz is the one who's performing all the time. Liz has her own issues because she's with Big Pratt, and she still loves him or something. I don't get it. Sure, well, that whole relationship is out of control. I don't get it, but he's trying to dumb it down for him. He's like, yeah, like, she's just performing. Like, yeah, like, oh, I apologize to her, but you should see what she did. It's like, dude, just own up to your shit.
All he cares about is his image. And so he's going to do and say whatever it takes so that he can try to save his image.
Yeah.
And that's why he doesn't apologize, because apologizing is accepting fault. And that's why he keeps trying to put it on her, going, well, if you think what I did is bad, I'm not the bad guy here. She is.
Yeah, he's not a Big Pratt. He's the little Pratt. And I'm not talking about his body type. He's just a little asshole.
Yeah, yeah. For some reason, the most surprising thing is people are still team Ed. It seems.
Who?
It seems. I think the people
Call in if you're team Pret.
don't
I'm
call in. We
serious.
don't want to talk to you. But I think there's a lot of people who I don't know. Either they sympathize with him
Sympathize with what?
that he has been picked on and people have made fun of him, and there is something to that.
I get it, but that doesn't mean that you have to be an asshole. You can also just be the bigger person and be like, you know what? Those guys were haters, but I'm gonna be a nice guy. I didn't do anything wrong. He turned into a monster.
Yeah.
He is so. We all thought Bilal's bad. No, he is bad.
Bilal comes in and starts giving advice, and I'm like, between Angela and Bilal, neither of you guys should be giving relationship advice.
True, but I'll take Bilal and Angela over Big Pred any day.
Yeah, I would say so.
But somehow, like, Ed loves Bilal. Like, I think everyone can tell him certain things and he'll ignore and he's gonna come back for them. When Bilal says it, he's like, Bilal, whenever I'm acting like an asshole, I need you to call me. It's like, really? Okay.
Meanwhile, Liz is talking to Jenny and Kim, and it's the classic, oh, well, you don't see the whole story. You don't see Ed. He's the parts you don't see. He's so sweet. This is just a persona.
Well, this is what we see. This is what we're commenting on. This is what I always
It's not
say.
even yes and no. Okay, so like Kim's like, okay, I can relate. Usman, there's Usman and there's Soulja Boy, right? There's the stage persona. The problem with that is he takes his stage persona, if it is a stage persona, I'm sure he dials it up on camera, but he takes that persona everywhere. He takes that stage persona off stage. And the thing that was kind of like the nail in the coffin for us, for Ed, was that phone call with Liz, that voice message he left. And it's like, there were no cameras on him.
Yeah.
That's Ed when the cameras go away. So if it's a stage persona to be over the top and be this asshole and be, there's no remorse, he takes that stage persona off stage.
Yeah.
And that's where it's no good.
I think he became this persona. I think he got a lot of support at the beginning when he appeared on 90 Day because, again, people felt bad for him. And then he took it and he turned into whoever he is. Like, it's horrible. And it's like, I take whatever he looks like, whatever condition he has. I don't give a shit about it at all. I mean, that's not even... That shouldn't be a part of this occasion. Like, you shouldn't feel bad for him because of that. But he acts like an idiot. He doesn't have a mental illness or anything that we would be like, oh man, like we need to like slow down on him. It's like,
he doesn't know what he's saying. Yeah.
He's fully aware. That's why he deserves all this shit, because that's him acting like an asshole.
Oh, yeah. And leaning into it, too. It's, again, it would be different if there was remorse after he did what he did. But he's still pointing fingers and saying,
oh my gosh,
not
he's
me.
pointing fingers on everyone but himself. And he's like, well, I'm not ready to give her the ring back. I hope she doesn't want it.
Oh,
I think she does, but...
They're going to be back together.
Oh, for sure, because...
It's toxic.
Yeah.
I hate to blame Liz, but to take a little accountability for your actions, especially when everyone in the room is like, this isn't good. You should not be with him.
No.
Maybe you should listen.
Yeah, well, that's on her how she's going to deal with this.
Yeah.
But
should we get to set?
yes.
All right. Next day, 7:45 a.m. Nobody seemed hungover. I thought maybe there'd be some hangovers in the building.
Yeah.
Nope. Jenny and Shaeeda are talking, and I go, oh, they're all wearing the same thing. The entire cast is wearing the same clothing. And I get it for continuity, for editing, except you just admitted now, if we're going to show them wearing the same outfit 2 days in a row, you're admitting that you're not going to give us a clean edit. You're not going to go, this is everything that happened on day one, and this is what happened on day two. You're going to mix and match, and I don't like that.
Well, I also feel like they always make it look like, oh, if this all was like shut in one day.
They used, well, it was. I think it used to be like, here's one 10-hour day, here's one 12-hour day.
Yeah, but we had like two parts.
Now this time we do, but we're admitting to it. We're showing you the aftermath. We're showing them arriving the second day. So if you weren't going to mix and match and play reactions from the first day and the second day and vice versa, you could have two different wardrobes for the 2 different days. And I'm sure the cast would love that. I'm sure Jovi
True.
would love the chance to put on a properly fitting suit.
Well, whatever it is, I hope they at least dry cleaned the clothes.
They must have. Yeah, you'd be dripping sweat under those lights.
Especially if you film for 9 or 10 hours a day, like I would hope. I would not wear the same thing if it wasn't clean.
No.
No.
Definitely not. Okay, so speaking of the pred, he walks in. He looks like he's doing the walk of shame. Like nobody was outwardly hungover, but he looked banged up. He looked like he did not have the best night.
But yet he's trying to sit on the couch with already 3 people sitting on it. Did you see that?
Well,
he was trying to like sit down and like move his ass
because the
to make
only
space for him.
open seat I think next to him was Jovi, and I think they were reserving that for Yara. I think he was sitting where he was supposed to sit.
No, there
probably.
was one open seat next to Kim.
Oh, really?
But I thought he wanted to sit next to Bilal.
Well, maybe it's because Kim comes at him. The second he comes in, he's like, well, I apologized to Liz last night for hitting below the belt. And Kim's like, that apology was fake as fuck. I talked to Kim.
Yeah.
I talked to Liz. She told me that apology was bullshit. And so, of course, Big Pred starts getting all upset. His moment of calm lasted 1 moment because he comes in and he's like, he wants to pretend like he's this new man.
Yeah.
Lasted a second and now he's back to
Because it's
flipping
his
out.
fault. Here's the thing that I found very rude. He's talking to Kim, basically accusing her of all kinds of things. He's not looking at her. And
I know, that was so strange.
And I get it. He cannot turn his head. I really don't think
know,
he
I
can turn
think
his
it might
head.
be that
but
too.
how about you reposition yourself and you
Right.
spin it around, right? And even Kim called him out on that. Like he's talking, looking in nowhere, talking to Kim. It's like, are you serious? Like, I get it. Maybe you
'Cause
can't turn, but turn your body, dude.
He can't make eye contact because he's bullshitting. And when you're bullshitting someone, I feel like you can't look at them in the eyes. And so he's like looking every other direction because whatever he's saying is BS.
You know who he looks like? You know the game of that? I don't know. Those like little things that
Oh
like
boy,
keep.
don't say it.
What?
Whack-a-mole?
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
they keep like sticking out of a hole, and you're supposed to be hitting them.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I feel like there should be a game with Ed in it.
Yeah.
Because he's such an asshole that someone needs to like hit him in the head so he wakes up.
Whack a hole.
That's what it's called?
No, I'm saying that's what we would name it. Whack asshole.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, so I learned if I can't accept who Liz is, then I can't make it work, and I can't accept who she is. It's like,
How
what
about
are
we can't accept who you are?
What do you? Well, I don't understand what Liz did, and I'm
don't
not
know.
any fan of Liz. I think she's got a lot to work on, and
Yeah, I think she
whatnot.
should start with getting rid of.
But what
This guy.
If I can't accept Liz, who she is, I can't make it work. And so now what? You're breaking up with her without her even being there? Like you're breaking up with her and she's still at the hotel?
He took the ring. They have separate rooms.
I know. But he apologized last night. So what?
Well,
So-
as we learned later, Liz said it was a half-ass apology that she doesn't buy it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
guys, that's why we did not cover them, because I would be this enraged all the time.
yeah, that's not good for anyone's blood pressure.
You ready for the action?
For who? Where are we going?
We're going to set 3, 2, 1. Sean, welcome back, people. Let me ask everyone what happened last night.
How was the night?
Straight into that.
Yeah. And here's those half-assed apologies from the Pred when he's like, I was a total dickhead the previous
Ugh.
day and I apologize to everyone. It's like he apologizes so he can tell people he apologized.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like how many times are you going to say, I apologize? It's not a real apology. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to tout that you apologize. You should just apologize and that should be good
Yeah.
enough.
But yeah, this is what it listed. Well, it was such an like half-ass apology. Like I don't buy it. And Ed was like, well, it wasn't. It's like, just shut up.
Every time she would cry if she was performing, and it's like that's such projection because you're performing, you're doing this big performance. This
yeah.
is your persona. Her tears, I don't think were fake. You made her cry. Maybe you feel bad that you made her cry, so now you're like, oh, you're performing.
I don't think any of these people are performing because they're not actors and actresses. Let's just put it this way, right?
I think some people can dial it up. I think like Andre maybe can dial it up sometimes, or Bilal maybe can dial it up
I don't
sometimes.
think Bill. I think Bill is just who he is.
Yeah. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, I guess.
But this is just, well, I think not just us, but everyone is sick of Big Ed and Liz, this whole fucking story. So Sean is like, well, we have plenty of other couples to talk about, so let's move on.
Let's move on. But before we do, I think we should take a quick break. Before we really get into it. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Kim and Usman?
Yes.
All right, we'll be back in a second. And we're back.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Therese. Have you settled down? Have you calmed down?
Yes.
You guys should see her. She is red in the face. She's like shaking her fist.
I honestly, I hate. I know this is a show, guys. So before you start saying, Therese, take it easy. It is a show.
Whose voice was that?
But I hate arrogant people. I hate arrogant people so much that I can't stand arrogant people, and I consider myself lucky that I don't have any arrogant people in my life. But if I do come across someone who is, I distance myself. But here I watch it on TV on my favorite show, and I get enraged because it's just out of control. I almost feel like, don't you hear yourself? I feel like sometimes, yes, John and I, we always say we don't really fight, but we have a thing here and there, right? And sometimes, maybe I say something that's ridiculous, and then I take it back because I apologize, and I hear myself like, oh my gosh, like, ew, like you said something that's bad, right? And I feel bad for it, and I apologize. Does he even hear himself?
No.
I just can't believe what's coming out of him.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on. Sean wants to move on. I want to move on. Let's move on.
Kim and Usman, and we get confirmation once again about the status of the relationship. Kim confirms not together. She still loves Usman. They still talk. We're best friends, but there's no romance.
All right. Here is my take. They were never in a relationship. Maybe they were friends.
Hot take alert.
Maybe they get drunk and banged.
Ooh,
but I think they were friends. She was infatuated with him. Maybe she was in love with him. And he was like, hey, how about we bring this on the show? And maybe something happened. Maybe they banged once or twice, but they developed this thing. And then it was time to cut it off because, well, how long can you do this? Now there is a freaking child involved almost. And so... Because I don't think you can be in love with someone. You can be engaged to someone. You can bend over backwards for someone. Then they screw you over or they say something that you get so enraged that you throw the ring back at them.
Yeah.
And a couple of weeks later, you claim you're best friends. I don't think that's how it works.
That's an interesting take. One that I never really thought. I always thought, okay, he's scamming her. She's infatuated. She's a super fan. And
she still is. That's my point.
She still is.
She says, I'm still his biggest supporter. I'm still a super fan. You cannot. If you're engaged to someone, you're about to marry the person, bring them to the US, you bend over backwards for them, then they piss you off, you throw the ring back, you call it quits, and in a few weeks, you claim that you're best friends. Get out of here.
Well, here's the reason I like to entertain this theory. We have to remember, Soulja Boy was on a previous season.
Yep.
With a different woman. And so, there's clear evidence that maybe he's a scammer. Maybe he's using these American women for his own gain. And for Kim to see that and then fall in love with that, it's a little harder to believe. It's easier to believe she sees that and goes, hey, Usman, what do you say we run a little scam and we get on TV with this storyline? That's an interesting point of view.
And again, I think she loved him or loves him. I think she, again, is infatuated with him. He's a superstar. He's a Soulja Boy. For her, she's a super fan. I think that for her, it was kind of real, but she also knew that it's not going to work. And so they played this game. She got a bang or two out of this.
The yummy.
And that's why they can be friends now because that's all they've ever been.
So how do you think it ended then? Because Kim is saying, I'm the one who ended it.
I think she maybe said, all right, well, I don't know what else to do with this. Let's just just end this charade and go back to just being friends. And I'll still support you. I'll still be there for you. I'll be there for you. But let's end this so maybe I can move on too.
Yeah, I don't see Usman ending it because
that's
then
my theory.
he's ending the Xboxes, he's ending the laptop. I don't see him ending it.
No, that's my theory. That's my full theory.
It's not a bad theory, and I would love to see Kim on the single life.
Oh yeah, and she's single now, so maybe.
So okay, then we bring out Jamal.
All right, I think Jamal repaired his reputation a little bit. He was cool. He was there for his mom, not for himself.
I want to know when this was filmed.
Oh.
Which tell-all was filmed first?
I would assume the previous one.
Maybe. Because, yeah, if you guys didn't listen to our Single Life coverage, it was on Patreon. He kind of, to me at least, I lost respect for him. I thought he was too full of himself. He got cocky. He got arrogant. He's doing everything we don't like in a person.
True, but I said it before. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because he's never been the main person or the person of interest on these shows. He's always the supporting person there for his mom. He never had people ganging up on him. And I feel like all of a sudden, okay, he's there for Veronica. They hooked up. I think they maybe talked about it, what they are or not are. And all of a sudden, he started getting attacked by everyone on the air. That's something he's never had to deal with. And I think maybe he was just trying to shake it up and he got cocky. I'm not taking it away, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he never experienced this being attacked on the stage by everyone and he just didn't know what to do.
But it's still the same thing that we talked about with Pred or whoever. It's like you are who you are. The lights and the camera may emphasize it, but you still are who you are. When he was backstage, and I forget who it was like, oh, yeah, what are you, a fuck boy? He's like, why are you mad? Because I dress good, because I look good. And it's like, stop. It's so cocky. It's so arrogant. You don't need to say that.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But again, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because it happened once. We saw him doing something shady, something that we don't agree with once. If he does it again or we see something on social media, then I'll be like, all right, whoops, that's who Jamal is becoming.
Yeah.
But that's the only time we all saw him acting and thought.
All right, that's a warning for you, Jamal. That's your warning.
Wait a minute, like this is Jamal? Like this is not the Jamal we all like, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying like now, he came and he was there for Kim. He wasn't there for himself. He wasn't there for anything else. He wasn't there to promote himself. He came, he was there for his mom, and that's exactly what he did, and he left.
Yeah, he's like, I'm here because I predicted this a year ago. I'd be picking up the pieces after Soulja Boy broke my mom's heart. And once again, Kim tries to say, no, I ended it. Jamal's not buying it. I don't buy it. Well, I do. I don't know. I actually don't know how this thing came to an end because I don't think Soulja Boy would say, let's end this thing, because then he ends the money, the gifts. But I think Jamal's feeling is he guilted you into ending it, Mom.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And then Jamal says something that everyone agrees with, including myself. He says, you used my mom to stay relevant.
Yeah. Oh,
which is true.
Well, and that's what Big Perv said. He was like, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is Soulja Boy is more worried about promoting his career than Kim. He's an opportunist. And Soulja Boy denies it, but everyone else agrees. Andre calls him a scammer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's an interesting dynamic, and you saying what you said a few minutes ago makes me scratch my head and go, oh, maybe this was an arrangement.
And this is just me assuming, but I think Kim got something out of it too, right? She definitely got a little bit of fame, some extra money. I'm sure she's on Cameo or something. Like maybe she'll be on other seasons.
But
it was a mutual promotion. And again, she is in love with him.
That's what I was going to say. To play devil's advocate, and I'm not going to call Kim desperate. I won't go that far. But imagine you're this 50-year-old woman sitting at home, single, and you see this attractive, charismatic guy on 90 Day Fiancé. You slide into his DMs. Like people slide into DMs all the time, left and right, right? So she does it, and maybe it wasn't this, let's kind of run this little scam to get on TV. Maybe she really was just in love with what she saw on TV.
Oh, I believe that. I think she.
So
she
then what's your? I thought your theory was that they were both kind of in it together to be like, let's do this, let's get on TV together.
I think they started talking, and she was in love with him and infatuated by him, and they were talking, and then he was like, well, maybe the whole potential thing maybe was real.
Yeah.
And I think they just Usman maybe brought it up that maybe we can mutually help each other and see each other, see how things go. And
That's
again, I believe they banged at least once.
Oh boy.
But I don't think there was a relation, like a loving relationship.
No.
I think they were friends.
Yeah.
Or they are friends, because why I'm saying this is I'm judging this whole theory based off of the fact that they broke up. They broke up in an engagement, not just like, oh, we're dating for a bit and we realized we're probably better off as friends. An engagement that they were thinking of adopting a kid. That's all like big things. You break that off. A normal person would be heartbroken, sad. Like they would not want to deal with this person again, at least for a while.
Sure.
Like you would want to distance yourself from this heartbreak because you put everything into this relationship, money, time, and you're telling me that happened. And a few weeks later, you're telling us that he's your best friend? Bullshit.
Yeah, unless you just realize, hey, if you can mutually realize we're better off as friends. Like maybe you got caught up in the idea of it flying to a different country, this younger guy, this superstar. And then when clearer heads prevail, you're like, you know what? This would never work. This is never going to work. Neither of us are going to move to the other person's country. We're better off as friends. Like maybe it was just reality.
Maybe you're right too.
In.
Listen, I don't know. I'm assuming, and this is just me trying to put myself into that position. And again, I don't think just anyone would be able to overcome something like this and just come back as besties. We talk every single day. That's
what are they talking about?
I don't know.
Can Sean ask that?
I don't talk to my good friends every single day.
No. Can Sean ask that follow-up question? You guys text her. What are you guys talking about?
I don't know. And the only person I'm capable of talking to every single day or seeing them is you.
Yeah.
For a reason, because I love you so much. That's the only, it's mutual.
And our lives are intertwined. We have
True.
things to discuss. Like, what are they talking about?
I don't know.
So everyone's like, we think Usman's a scammer. Kim is saying no. He'd have to be an Oscar winner if he was able to act the way he did. And Usman, this is craziness when he's like, no, I loved her. We had sex. You can't have sex with someone you don't love.
Dude, let's all just agree that I think every adult ever had a one-night stand.
Oh boy, I don't want to hear this, but okay.
I'm not saying I have, but
almost every adult.
almost every adult had a one-night stand. Come on.
I love her. You don't have sex. You love her like you love Santa Claus. Like that's that same love. She comes, she brings you gifts.
Ooh.
That's the love. But that's grasping at straws. If you're at the point where you're like, we had sex, you can't have sex with somebody you don't love. You're grasping at straws.
Yeah, no, please.
And then Sean tries to kind of clarify and it's like, well, what about the whole second wife thing?
Yes,
like,
that was good.
Would you love both of them or not? And Usman's like, definitely. And to me, that's not crazy. That's poly. Like that's just so I don't see that line of questioning having any relevance.
No, he realized that he's getting caught because that whole time when they were discussing the second wife, Usman was telling Kim, she's just for kids. Like that is gonna be like nothing. Like I'm pretty sure she even said, I'm not gonna love her or anything.
But
she's just there for kids.
Okay, but
and so now he's like, oh, I would definitely love her. It's like that's not what you were saying because Kim would never allow you to love someone else.
But take what he said 10 seconds earlier. You can't have sex with someone you don't love. And so if they're going to procreate and have kids, then they're going to have sex, which means he has to love her.
Yes, but he's just saying that because he got caught.
I agree. I'm just trying to string together
and now Kim is like, what? Like, well, we didn't discuss that.
And Usman blames it on the cultural differences. He's like, we're having cultural differences. Nigerians aren't from Europe land. And
None of these people are from Europe. I mean,
Well,
Yara.
Yara. To that I say, if you want to make your life easier, stop trying to meet women from Europe land online, right?
Very true. And it's like, I get the traditions or the culture. Sure, that's your culture. But that you should have said it from day one. You should have been like, Kim, you'll be my first wife, but the second wife, she would be equal. I would love them equally. We would all be one big happy family, which I think that's what the tradition is.
I think that is. And that's maybe I just told myself that that's what he was saying, but I always figured he would openly love her. I knew Kim was going to be number one, but I didn't think that meant the only one that he loved.
And it is being polyamorous, but that's the culture.
Right.
You don't just call it that. It's because in the US, it's not, I don't want to say it's not accepted. You guys do you, but it's not legit.
It's not common.
Like you
can't legally do it.
Exactly. Yeah. In Nigeria,
sure.
It is. So that's just how they live their lives. This is the culture. So you should have just come clean from the beginning and not to say things that he thought Kim wants to hear. If we're saying that whole thing was real.
And that's where you could define it as a scam. It's like if you're only going to share enough information, even if you really do like her, but you're only going to share enough information to get her to commit to you, marry you, give you what you want, and then you're going to say, oh, but wait, there's more. Then in a way you're scamming her because you're not being completely honest.
True. Have you ever had a female friend that you thought you guys were just friends, but like she was in love with you or she wanted more, but you didn't see it, but you liked her as a friend?
I don't have a ton of female friends. I've like worked with people who I thought, oh, we're just coworkers, and then other people have told me like, oh, she has a crush on you, blah, blah, blah. Not who you're thinking of.
Oh God, I'm not gonna bring that up. But like I've experienced it too, that I had when I was younger, some guy friends that we were friends, and then someone, same thing, told me, oh, they wanted to be more. I'm like, oh, I don't see that. It's the same thing. They're friends, and Kim wanted more. He knew it.
I guess, but this started out as, hey.
Potential.
Right, potential. That's also true.
But it's the same
it was
thing.
like we're friends, and there's a potential
friends,
for
and
more.
then one wants more than the other.
That's a good point.
But some people can some people can say, yeah, let's just keep being friends, or maybe let's try and hook up and see how things are. That's literally was them.
That's a good point. So then we flash back to Usman meeting Farida, the potential second wife. Kim didn't know all the details. Kim didn't know that Usman asked for her number, and this upsets her. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is dumb. You're okay with him meeting a potential second wife. You're okay with him having a second wife, but you're not okay with him getting her phone number.
Because it's like, ooh, like then they can talk behind your back.
Yes. Yeah.
I know. But this is where Usi's like, it's the culture. Kim's crying. And then Kim's like, we will never get back together. But I love him. I will always be a super fan. I will always support him. It's like, come on.
He's saying it's the culture, yes. He's also saying it's his mom. Like he starts blaming his mom. He's like, I can't go against my mom. I don't go against what my mom. If my mom says have sex with another lady, I say how hard. Like that's that's our culture.
Ugh.
Yeah. So Kim's done with Usman. Says there's no chance of a relationship with him now.
But they're best friends.
Right now we're best friends.
Ugh.
All right.
Let's take a little break, but not us, them.
Not us. All right, I don't have notes for a break. So.
No, this is the break when Jenny went hard on Big Fred, and I loved it.
Okay.
Little Jenny sass, but that's all that happened. So let's get back to set, and let's get into Bilal, Shaeeda, and Christopher and Uterus.
Yes.
Because I'm like, are you on the show?
This is wild. So we immediately bring up the 9-month ultimatum, and Sean says, where on the timeline are we? Right. The 9 months hasn't fully passed. They've tried 2 or 3 times to have sex.
Not enough.
Because they love each other, and people who love each other have sex. Yeah. And Sean's like, oh, well, what made you change, Bilal? You were so anti having a child. Last we heard from you. Now you're open to it. You've banged numerous times. And Bilal's like, well, I realize I want to be with Shaeeda for the rest of my life. I saw how emotional she was. I saw how much she wanted this. And so I said, hey, let me throw the D at her once or twice.
I buy that. I buy that he probably realized that shit, like she really wants this and I don't want to get a divorce again. Like I see myself with her and if this is what it takes, let's give it a shot. But it's like a little kid. It's like you say no and the kid wants it and then you finally say yes. The kid is like, no, I don't want it anymore.
Right. So I just laughed because I looked down at my notes and I saw what comes next.
Which is never seen clip.
Which is, this is no limit. Like this is maybe the favorite scene I've ever watched on 90 Day Fiance. They go to an herbalist to try to get help with their pregnancy. And I don't know about this sort of thing. I am not necessarily into the herbals or the herbalist.
You like tea.
I like tea. But I don't know about like a white dude herbalist from Kansas.
Why not?
If I would go to him because they want it's like, y'all trying to get knocked up here? Y'all trying to get knocked? Tell me, Bilal, how long you stay hard? You stay hard long?
Well, anyone can be an herbalist, so I buy that.
Just the way he was talking, his whole demeanor. I was like, I would turn around and run. This was Stargazers. This was Mike Natalie going to Stargazers, but he was trying to sell boner pills from a gas station.
Those were supplements. I buy this shit. I don't think a tea would really help with anything, but it could.
Y'all ever heard of edging? Y'all edge below? I'm edging right now. So,
well, basically, they went there to buy a tea for Shaeeda to get pregnant, and it all turned into Bilal edging and prostate supplements.
This is unbelievable that we're talking about edging on 90 Day Fiance. Like, I thought this was stuff you talked about when the lights went off and the pants came off.
I've never heard of the term. So.
Oh, me and Andre have heard of edging.
Oh, really?
I've never edged. I'm not an edger. I used to edge when I had my lawn business. I would do the edges of the lawn, but
Jesus.
That's as far as the edging went.
Well, you know why it's not that bad? Because it doesn't sound dirty. I know what it is, but it doesn't, when you say it and you're not familiar with it, it doesn't sound dirty. It doesn't sound bad.
Just the term sounds aggressive.
Really?
Edging. Yeah.
It doesn't.
That's because you're not familiar with it. Andre is, and I'm sure he discovered it when he was unemployed and he had nothing else to do. And yeah, I need more of that scene. I need the whole, everything you guys cut out of that scene. Just send it our way, please.
There was this one store in the Czech Republic in my hometown selling all kinds of teas and also like flavored nuts. Like not the actual nuts. I used to love going and like trying different teas, buying different teas and get all these like nuts dipped in yogurt. And
yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's a great store. I would go.
I know. I support the store and the products in that store.
Okay.
Just the guy who was selling them.
He was trying to be helpful.
A little too helpful.
Well, he's there to assist, and he did. He did his job.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So then we learned Shaeeda actually did a 180 on the kid conversation after they banged it out once or twice.
And there is a part of me that gets it. She says, I finally felt like things are happening for me in the US. I started feeling that I have a place. And I get it. Like once you get a taste of success, you may change your mind. Because I hate to say, yes, I think she truly wants a baby. She's out there with her age. Definitely she got her ex checked out. Not a lot, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, and this is going to sound bad, but she has nothing else to do.
Right. She wanted something to do.
She wanted something. She wanted a kid, but also kid would fill out her time, right? And now when there is something else happening for her, maybe the business, she's slowly starting to get things in place. Now she's like, oh shit, like maybe it can wait. Or it was the whole, it's like a child. Now you want to do it, but I don't want to do it.
Right. Yeah, you want what you can't have.
Yeah.
So the Shaeeda says, yes, it's the business. I'm focusing on that. But also, right now, Bilal's not 100% open with me about finances, about bank accounts. And so that sort of makes me question things.
Yeah,
and
I still don't buy the bank account. Like, I'm pretty sure they had to have it as a proof.
I know for a fact they don't have to have it as proof. I'm with you. as far as it helps, but you do not, it's not required.
No, it's not. But then the immigration officer is gonna be looking at it like, all right, well, how is she gonna live? She has no money of her own and she cannot work for a certain period of time. How is she gonna get around if she has no bank card or no access to money? Is she gonna work illegally? I'm telling you, like, this is how it is. They would start thinking like, is she gonna do some illegal work?
Well, not if they look at, if Bilal was so kind as to show the immigration officer his bank account and he had a lot of money in there, they could go, okay, I see. You have
And he has to. You have to show
that.
how much money you make
I was being
in
facetious.
order to sponsor me.
I was joking because he doesn't show Shaeeda his bank account. So I was saying, okay, well, if he were to show the immigration and he made enough money and had enough savings, they would go, okay, of course she can live off whatever you make, right? There's a lot of couples where only one partner works.
Oh, most of all these 90 days, like for you and me, it was different because I was here on a work visa. So I had a job. I had my own bank account, right? But yet our lawyer told us we should have a joint bank account. And I was making my own money. So it wasn't even, and the immigration knew it. They saw my paperwork. It wasn't even a question of like, oh, Teresa, would you like work illegally here? No, like I had my own money that I could legally work for, but the lawyer strongly suggested we open a joint bank account.
Yeah. The thing that frustrated me is Bilal's like, well, he doesn't trust her with money. He's like, every time I give her money, it goes in one hand and out the other very quickly. And it's like, because you're probably giving her enough for whatever she's going to go do. She's probably like, oh, I'm going to the store.
Yeah.
We need X, Y, and Z. And he goes, all right, here's $50. And then she spends the $50. I doubt he's giving her $1,000 a week and all of a sudden she's just spending it.
Yeah.
So that's why, yes, when you give her money, she spends it because I feel like you're giving her money for a specific thing.
Well, I hope she has at least access to his credit card or something. I hope he's not giving her cash for everything.
The other crazy thing is not knowing how much he makes.
That's ridiculous. Like, I think
it's all trust. Like,
yeah.
He has zero trust in her. And it goes back to the pranks. Taking her to a dilapidated house and being like, will she still love me if this is you don't trust her.
And okay, maybe before they were married, he wouldn't tell her so because he thought she's marrying him for the money, right? You're married right now.
Yeah, right. She passed the test, didn't she?
Even if she married you for money, you're married. So just tell her how much you make so she knows if she did well or not.
So then my second favorite part, for a couple I hated watching all season long, their tell-all appearance was my favorite, I think. Between the herbal shop and now we bring in Bilal's friend of 20 years, Chris.
And the uterus.
The way they go back and forth, it was like watching the news, how you have like different correspondents and different boxes just yelling at each other.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this turned into.
Well, it basically turned into a fight, a battle between Chris and uterus, which Chris was having Bilal's back. Uterus, well, at least that's what we thought. Uterus was having Shaeeda's back. Then Chris comes back and says, well, I'm having all men's back. And uterus is outraged. But it was going back and forth between those two. I'm like, they should bang.
And yeah, there was sexual tension.
Right? They should bang.
Did you see Chris was like even holding a pen taking notes?
Oh, I didn't see that. But I saw
pen. I was like, this is
I don't know
amazing.
if on purpose or not, but he was supporting Ukraine.
With his yellow pillows and his blue.
I look good. Like he
way
like,
better than Jovi.
He really like mashed it well. He was like, okay, I'm gonna be national TV. Let me color code everything, and maybe I can show my support for a good cause.
There was something.
He did it all.
I don't know what it says about me, but I liked Chris. Like just his demeanor. I liked him. The fact that he had a pen and he was taking notes. When he was like, "What man doesn't want to lead his family?" I was like, "Well, I mean, anyone
2023, dude.
Anyone could take the lead. It doesn't
Yes.
really have to be a man, or you should have co-leads.
Yeah, co-captains.
Equality. But yeah, then we get the flashback of Utrus's big plan. Stop taking birth control pills without telling Bilal.
And I'm glad that people gave her shit. Like,
Not enough. Not
True,
enough shit.
true.
Like for me, it was even cringier to watch the second time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's because like maybe the first time it was just so shocking, and
well,
this time
she said it multiple times. Once she said it just to the cameras, and then she said it to Shaeeda.
Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah, it was
real
bad. Yeah, she didn't give enough shit. She didn't get enough shit, but she got some shit. And Chris is like, "You give bad advice, lady." I'm like, "All right."
He does.
Sure does.
He gives terrible advice. And then we get classic Bilal. He's got something up his sleeve.
But it wasn't a joke.
It was not a joke. He goes, when we think of New York, I don't want to think about the Brooklyn Bridge conversation. I want to think about something different. And he gets up and he takes Shaeeda center stage, gets down on one knee, and he goes, "You want to go halves on a baby with me?" So romantic.
That was kind of nice.
It was kind of nice.
And Shaeeda is like losing it. She's like crying and she's like, "That changes the timeline. I'm on board again."
He had a baby shirt he brought.
Yeah.
Oh, you think I'm cute?
I thought it was cute.
It was sweet.
I think Shaeeda, how to say it nicely? I think all Shaeeda needs is some reassurance. And this was a reassurance that he wants that. Like he wants to have a baby with her, that he wants to do that.
But
like,
they already started trying.
yeah, but it wasn't like, if you bang 2 or 3 times, like it's like
No, I
what, you
know,
try for a week?
But he basically said already, yes, I am willing to have a baby with you.
Yeah, but I think Shaeeda wants the big gesture.
The grand gesture.
Yeah. Like she wants that, like the fairy tale.
So let's see. Are we going to get them on another season with her being pregnant?
Well, some people messaged us that they are speculation out there that she's pregnant. And I saw some pictures that you could think that, all right, like she's hiding something.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Interesting. All right. So that is Bilal and Shaeeda.
Yes.
Last couple of this episode?
Yes. We'll get a little bit of a Michael and Angela, but...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Jenny and Sumit.
Jenny and Sumit. All right. So they both say we describe ourselves as codependent because we depend on each other's happiness.
Yeah. I think they were trying to be sweet.
Yeah.
You should have stopped that. The house doesn't feel like a home without Jenny here.
Yeah, that was
was
nice.
sweet.
Yeah.
Was being like, oh yeah, we're codependent on each other.
Well, let's watch a clip of Sumit planning on adopting a kid.
We'll get a kid somewhere.
Jenny doesn't know yet.
We can
And
adopt somebody.
Jenny didn't know about this.
No.
She's like, I told him in 2011 that I don't want to have kids. He's like, who's gonna raise the kids? Me? Oh, hell no.
Well, and that's the thing is she doesn't get mad necessarily at the, oh, let's have a kid because she doesn't buy it. It's more, you're just telling people what they want to hear.
Yeah.
You're just telling your parents what they want to hear.
And he admits it. He's like,
I know.
Sean goes like, Sumit, do you really want to have a kid? He's like, no, I don't.
But then Sean's like, are you just doing what you did to your parents to Jenny now by just telling her what she wants to hear? Like, you can't believe anything Sumit says now.
And then Angela, I like died laughing. Angela was like, he'll have plenty of time when you're dead and gone.
Jeez.
That's what I tell Michael. And Jenny was like, what?
It was brutal.
Oh, that was bad. But
She's not wrong.
But
Kind of wrong. He'll be like 50 years old probably.
well, also
things go well.
Also, Jenny's 65, right? What if she is here until she's 100, right?
Yeah.
Then it's gonna bring Sumit to his mid 60s.
Oh yeah. No, I think I wouldn't take advice from Angela.
Yes, let's all not.
So then we bring out the fam. Anil,
Amit,
Amit,
and
Shri.
Shri.
Sadhna, of course, is not there.
Sadly.
Sadly, she's not there. And we learn things are better between the kids, between
Yeah.
Amit and Shri and Jenny and Sumit. Not better with the parents.
Well, Anil says that the relationship between Sadhna and Sumit is back to normal.
Right. It got real bad at a time.
She disowned him, but no more.
Slowly but surely, they're getting back together.
Yes. However, Sadhna still hasn't accepted the relationship.
And that's
why she's not there.
That's why she's not at the doll. Yeah, I forgot she was at the last one.
Yeah.
But that was because Sumit had not told
He
them.
was going to, and then he didn't.
That was like the biggest upset of the tell-all. last
Yeah,
time,
he
'cause
was
we all
going
thought,
to, and
we're
then
gonna
he
get
got
this.
cold feet.
Yeah.
And so then Shri said it was a shock for everyone. They found out that they got married without telling anyone. And then she basically plays it out saying like, what do you think we would do if we would stop the wedding? We're
Right.
not that crazy. He's like, we just wanted to know. And they didn't say anything until after. And I'm like, Sadna was saying she's gonna kill herself.
I don't think. Well,
what are you
right.
talking about?
Sheree was saying we wouldn't have.
Yeah.
We're rational people.
Yeah.
Sadna, I don't think is part of that. We.
Oh, she's not rational.
Sadna is not
She's like, I'm
rational.
gonna die. It's like, what?
But I mean, Sumit doesn't believe it. So Sheree can say whatever she wants. Sumit doesn't believe that Sadna would have kept her mouth shut. She would have tried to sabotage for sure.
And then Anil chimes in.
This is
and
sweet.
because Sean is like, Anil, do you accept the marriage now? It's like, do you give them your blessing?
Mm-hmm.
Dramatic music, commercial break, all kinds of things. And he does. He says, they're already married. What can I do? We're happy for the happiness of our son. So yes, they have my blessing.
I think he was happy. He looked genuinely okay with it.
I think he's just fucking tired of fighting this. I think he's like, yes, all right, I'm not gonna have a grandchildren from him, sure, at least not now. I have one from Anil. Coolio, maybe I'll have more kids to make up for Sumit.
Right.
It's lack of children. But I'm tired of fighting. Jenny's not Angela. Jenny's not yelling and
she's
abusing Sumit.
respectable. She tries to adapt to the culture.
Yeah. She's in America. She's in New York, and she's dressed in an Indian outfit. She embraces it. What? Just get over the age gap. Is it unusual? Yes.
Right.
Is it bad? No.
Right. Do they love each other? Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the most important part. Do you think Anil would tell Sadna that he accepts it? Oh, hell no.
Well, hopefully Sadna's not watching this.
No. So then Sean asks about the visa. If Jenny's filed for Sumit's visa.
And she has not. And I like this because she's like, well, whether we go to the US or not, we'll talk about it and decide together.
Right. And Sumit says, well, I would go to visit.
Yeah.
I'd go to check out, which I think is good. You should go visit.
Yeah. And I think the reason why Jenny wanted to leave India is because she didn't feel accepted. That was the whole point.
Right.
She's like, if I don't have an acceptance here, I don't have any family here, let's go back to the US. But I think now with Anil and Shree and Amit accepting her,
Sure.
and it's getting better, I don't think she has that need to leave.
That's a good point.
I think she's fine. And that's why they probably just, well, you know what, things are getting better. Why would we run from something established to start over?
Mm-hmm. I wish we followed up on Sumit's restaurant. Look what happened.
Oh, yeah.
You think this is it? Maybe this isn't it for them. We still have a whole other part because we didn't talk about Kama Sutra,
That's true.
any of the restaurant
we still
business.
have one full episode, so
we could talk about them. Yeah, because we say goodbye to everyone. And then Sean circles back to last night and he's like, hey, Jovi, you found Michael's Instagram? He said he was off, but you found it?
yes. Angela says it wasn't Michael because of the wording, and that's not how Michael speaks.
Right. And then, out of nowhere, Mother Nature tries to rain on this parade, literally. It starts downpouring in Nigeria. And Sean's like, I hear rain in both Usman and Michael's rooms. Are you guys in the same hotel? And Sean's like, Angela, would you be pissed if Usman and Michael got together tonight? Oh, she'd be pissed.
Oh, she would be pissed.
Oh, the marriage is too fragile and I don't trust anyone around Michael.
Which is ridiculous. It's like, yes, you cannot put Michael in a bubble. You can, and she's trying. She's been trying for years, but it's not how life works.
No, he's an adult. Let him be an adult. And you want to trust your significant other. You want to give them leeway and see what they do with it and be like, okay, cool. You are well behaved. You don't cheat on me. This is great. We love each other. I can trust you.
Well, I don't think Angela can trust Michael. She says she never will.
I know.
But we have a break and Angela is like, Michael, phone. I'm going to call you. Get the mic off.
Which is so dumb because then a camera goes and follows her.
And basically it's the FaceTime. Angela just yelling at Michael, and then Michael saying that they're at the same studio but a different hotel. Aren't you filming in a hotel?
I don't know.
I would assume you are.
But maybe wherever they go back to is different.
I don't know. But Angela thinks it's a lie. Yells at him for a couple of extra minutes and hangs up. And then we see Michael.
Well, she goes, when she hangs up, she goes, we either need a divorce or he needs to get some help.
Yes. And then we see Michael just like cruising around,
So
walking
dramatic.
down this corridor, and he's outside and he goes to a different room. And he's like, I know my wife will be mad, but I need to straighten things out. And we just hear, Usman?
Yeah.
Usman, are you there? And Usman, Michael? And that's when it stops.
So good. And that's it.
That's it.
That's Tell All Part 3. What a tell all.
So
And
good.
if you thought that was it, wait,
One more.
there's 4.
One more, guys.
One more.
And
But-
isn't it beautiful? One more. We'll also finish A Love in Paradise. And then Johan and
Oh, yeah.
Danielle will go on the other way. So guys, get on the Patreon if you wanna recap of their relationship, because that's what we're covering right now.
That's right.
Patreon.com Married to Reality.
Slash. Don't forget that slash.
Slash
Guns
Married
N'
to
Roses
Reality.
would be nothing without slash. Yeah, it's got a bunch of stuff up there. I can't even recap how much stuff is up there, but things like Love in Paradise, obviously, and Seeking a Sister Wife is up there. We did Love is
The
Blind After
Single
the
Life,
Altar.
The
We did the
Single
single. That's all
Life.
up there. You can go listen to it. You can watch it at the Family Affair level. And yes, Darcey and Stacey will be starting, and then the other way will be right here on the free feed.
And guys, 2023 so far has been very miserable for me,
True.
but it's looking very bright for the reality TV with the shows that are coming down the pipe.
Absolutely.
So get on the Patreon. I'm getting there too. Not on the Patreon. Well, I'm on the Patreon, but I'm getting there with my mouth. So I'm ready to discuss all of it.
Yes, patreon.com/Married to Reality. Also, follow us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. Also, follow the podcast, the one you're listening to right here, right now. So easy to do. You'll get the 90-day. The other way, you'll get Married at First Sight. It's all here on the free feed. All you have to do is look down, smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hot as the beautiful review we got from our friend
We sure did. We got a beautiful review from our friend Cindy.
Cindy.
Cindy, I word crazy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank
That
you.
was a short and sweet. Loved it.
Love it. So be like Cindy. If you leave a 5-star review, we will read it on this podcast right here. So that is it. Thank you guys for listening. Woo, crazy.
That is it for today.
That's it for today. We got more.
That's not it. That's not it for the show.
We got one more part.
One more part, guys.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Come next week. With that, I've said it all. Have you said
I've said it all.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.